Hi everyone, it's a bit of adventure. If you're looking for the perfect way to spend that perfect day while you're in Orlando, you just found it. Discovery Cove was absolutely amazing. We started our day by arriving at 7 a.m. The check-in process was very easy and quite quick. There might be a short line to get to the clerks, but once you're in front of the clerks, it's a super fast process. From the check-in, we then headed outside where we could wait and look over the lazy river and the Freshwater Oasis. At 7:30, they allowed us to take the picturesque walk back for breakfast at Laguna Grill. The wonderful part about Discovery Cove is that it's an all-inclusive resort. You have all the water areas to explore, the beaches to enjoy at your leisure, and all the food and drinks you can possibly handle. And it's great food. Once at the Laguna Grill, you will find a wonderful continental breakfast with the perfect assortment of food to get your day started. The full menu is available online and they do accommodate special diets. There are 4 different entrances to the building, so no need to wait in a long line. One of the 4 is bound to be short, especially if you get there early. Breakfast runs from 7:30 to 10:30 a.m., so there's plenty of time to get your meal and go back for seconds if you choose. If you have purchased any upgrades, such as swimming with dolphins, sea trek, trainer for the day, shark swim, the ray feeding, or animal track, just to name a few, many of these are done first thing in the morning. Also, the earlier you check in, the earlier your time slot will be, as they are limited and run throughout the days or certain time of the day. If you purchase 3 or more upgrades, then plan on arriving no later than 7:30 in the morning. You will definitely need to be there first thing so that you can get all 3 scheduled at proper times throughout the day. The upgrades that Discovery Cove have available all look pretty exciting. From the lowest price, which is the $40 premium drink package, all the way up to the dolphin swim for which they are known for. That dolphin swim would have cost this family of 4 an additional $2,200 for our day. They have upgrades that will meet your wants, your desires, and your needs. Even if that means doing no upgrades at all. I'll let you in on a little secret. We did not do any upgrades, and we had the most amazing day. And it didn't end until 5 o'clock when the lifeguards were closing down the Grand Reef. Sadly, we had to leave then. And let me tell you, we could have taken many more hours and had a great time and not ran out of things to do. If you are doing general admission, such as we did, after breakfast you would have until 9 a.m. until the waterways are open. This gives you plenty of time to walk around and see where everything is and to find the perfect spot to start your day. Some people prefer to go find their beach chairs and claim their spot first thing before breakfast. We had breakfast and then headed out and had plenty of time and plenty of options available for finding the perfect chair. After breakfast, we started by heading over to the Dolphin Lagoon. We were able to watch the dolphins swimming around in the holding pen, and then we walked to the side where you could view through the glass and see them underwater. Then we explored the park. As we were walking around exploring the park, we checked out all the different cabanas. They have 4 different levels of cabanas at Discovery Cove. They have a private cabana starting at $2.99. The A Light Cabana package starting at $599 and the VIP Cabana package starting at $899. And it looks like they go up to $12.99. It's all depending on the day. The location of the cabanas are very convenient, and some of the VIP cabanas are little hidden gems. Be sure to check out the website for what is included with the cabana packages. There's also a calendar that will give you the prices by date. If you're a family with small kids or maybe traveling with somebody older that wants to take it easy under a ceiling fan but still be close to all the action, then the cabanas would be right up your alley. Also, some of them have hammocks, little refrigerators, and depending on the package, they can be stocked throughout the day. We did not reserve a cabana. Although it was a busy day with a lot of people, we never had an issue finding a close set of beach chairs to set our items down. We only sat down ourselves for meals, as there was just too much to do and see, and we were enjoying our time in the water. Our first water adventure was at the Grand Reef, and we had our toes at the edge of the water just waiting for the lifeguards to give the okay to enter. I thought the water was amazing. My son and husband took a few minutes to adjust to what they said was cool water, and that was the only complaint of cold water we had all day. It was mid-June and the temperature was wonderful outside. As the day continued to heat up, the water became even warmer. We did not wear wetsuits, although they are available for anyone to use free of charge. We also brought our own snorkel mask. 3 of us prefer the full face snorkel as to the separate goggles and snorkel. Discovery Cove does provide goggles and snorkels to everyone that would like to use them, and they are of a good quality. If you're interested in the full face snorkel, check out the link in the information section below. You can find them on Amazon for under $30, or you could purchase the day of at Discovery Cove for $89. To give a little information on the full face snorkel mask, my husband and I have had ours for quite a few years, and it just makes snorkeling more comfortable. You're not biting on the snorkel itself to keep it in place, and it just seems to be a more comfortable way to snorkel. With my daughter, she likes to breathe out of her nose, and she cannot comfortably breathe out of her mouth. So when she would try with goggles and a snorkel, she'd have her face in the water for just a moment and then panic because she couldn't breathe. So by getting the full face snorkel, she now can snorkel with her face down for like hours. It's made a huge difference. The panic is gone and she's much more comfortable. My son, on the other hand, he likes the separated ones. The full face bugs him. So if you're having some issues with a regular snorkel and mask, maybe go for the full face and see what works best for you. We started at the front of the Grand Reef, then slowly headed back to where the sharks were located. There is an area by the sharks where the glass is slanted, and you feel like you're actually swimming on top of the sharks. So very cool area, definitely check it out. There is thick glass between you and the sharks, so you get to go on the side or at the ends, and at the end is where it slants. When we were there were a couple sharks resting, so it really looked like they were underneath us. Otherwise, you could see the sharks in a distance. Now, they do offer an upgrade to swim with the sharks if you're so inclined for that adventure. Depending on your comfort level, you can choose to wear a life vest or not. We did have the kids wear life vests. They're pretty good swimmers, not the strongest. I did notice that it looked like a 2X was the largest they had for life vest, and the smallest would be your infant size. Children under 6 are required to wear life vests. If you want a life vest, there are stations just in front of the entry point of each of the different waterways. You'll just walk up and grab whatever one you need. There's plenty there to choose from, and you can pick your size based on the color. As you can see from the video footage, the Grand Reef goes anywhere from 2 foot deep to well over 20 foot. So completely up to you on your comfort level of swimming, whether you want to wear a life vest or not. When we came back to the front of the Grand Reef area, we were surprised by just how many people were there at the reef and decided to head over to the Lazy River and the Freshwater Oasis for a little while with the plan of coming back to the Grand Reef. I want to mention that we did make our way back to the Grand Reef a little bit later in the day. We got back around 3:30. Right around 4 o'clock, they fed the stingrays, and let me tell you, it was my favorite part of the whole day. There are 37 stingrays in the Grand Reef, and I would guarantee that each of the 37 swam right past me, and either they touched me as they zipped by, or I was able to reach out and feel their little wings, I guess you want to call them, or their back as they would zip by. It was amazing. I don't have video from that feeding time because I did so much shooting that I actually drained my battery, but it was amazing, and I highly recommend making sure that you are in the Grand Reef when they do the feeding in the afternoon. It is absolutely worth it. As we left the Grand Reef and started to head over to the other side of the park where the Lazy River was at, we came across one of the handlers that had an anteater out. So we stopped and watched and listened to what the handler had to say. We passed one of the dolphin swim sessions while heading to the Lazy River. They have everyone lined up, and they were talking about the dolphins and showed some of the tricks they've been taught. Each person had an opportunity to hold a fin and take a lap on the dolphin. The experience lasts anywhere from 40 minutes to an hour. We walked past the Hibiscus Hideaway Pizza. They have Coke products, ices, ice cream, pizza, and next to it is the full bar, the Blue Bamboo. We enjoyed the pizza quite a bit. My son had no less than 5 pieces. I think he was having a feeding day and filling his hollow leg. The Lazy River, called Windaway River, is by far the longest and most exciting lazy river I've seen. As you cruise around the river, you experience different lands. You enter from a sandy beach and swim out past all the beautiful blooming tropical trees. The river goes from 3 feet to over 8 feet deep. There are life vests available and swim noodles. Many of the walls along the river banks are stacked with rocks. Our kids enjoyed diving for the rocks and stacking them as we made our way around the river. You also will go under trees and walkways, and in the end, you end up going through a beautiful cave. The river takes a good 20 to 30 minutes for one loop if you're relaxing and exploring along the way. The cave has this cute little room, almost like a whirlpool, that you can go in and just hang out if you want. When I went in there, I was the only one. It's kind of dark, kind of eerie, but very cool. Good way to get out of the sun and just relax. We had such a great time on our first lap around the Lazy River that we decided to go again and see what else we could spot. This might also be a good opportunity to mention water shoes aren't necessary, but definitely in the lazy river and the Grand Reef, they would be a great idea because you constantly would hit boulders that were sticking out, the changing heights of the river. It made quite a difference, and I can see where water shoes would be great. Just before this waterfall is the exit to the aviary. Once you go through the waterfall, you're actually in the aviary. There's a second waterfall that will take you out. Under both of the waterfalls, it takes quite a dip in the depth of the water. So it's over 8 feet right around both waterfalls. So if you've got young ones or a not so strong swimmer, that's a good place to really pay attention and make sure they have their noodle available. You can see the netting above for the aviary, and as you go through the water in this section, you'll see birds flying around, and we actually saw a few birds by lifeguards just hanging out. It's a beautiful area and worth taking a slow time through just to see some of the birds. Make sure you take some time to stop and check out the aviary. The birds are beautiful, and they will give you a cup of food for them. There are 3 different rooms that you can go into, each with different types of birds. The kids had a great time feeding the birds. Sydney had one immediately land on her head, which at first she thought was funny. Then after a minute or two, it no longer was funny. After a few laughs and of course a few more pictures, I held out my hand to shoo him away, and he ended up crawling up my arm and ended on my shoulder, where he hung out for a little bit. This is the same bird we saw a little bit later eating a mouse, actually more just carrying it around. It was a little baby mouse, no hair. He's a meat eater, so that was kind of interesting, which explains why he was not interested in any of the fruit and vegetables we were trying to feed him. Randy was able to entice a bird to land on him more than once, and in the end it was Shelton who was having trouble getting a bird to land on him. He was frustrated and walked out, so I went and got him. By the time we got back in, because I was behind him a little ways, he was all smiles because a bird was on him, but Sydney was not happy because Shelton stole her bird. I guess if you're going to have an issue at Discovery Cove, your big brother stealing your bird is a pretty minor issue. We spent around 45 minutes to 1 hour in the aviary and then headed back into the lazy river. From there, we saw the signs for the Freshwater Oasis, so exited the lazy river to cross the barrier and into the Freshwater Oasis. The Freshwater Oasis has the Asian clawed otters, which were super cute, and there's glass between you so you can watch them above and below the water. Then we took a moment to also watch the presentation at the Marmoset Island. If you go from the lazy river to the Freshwater Oasis, it's a good spot to have water shoes, as there's a painfully huge drop into the Freshwater Oasis. At this point in the day, we decided to have lunch, which was around 2:45. Lunch for the Discovery Cove ends at 3:30. When we got there, there was plenty of selection still, easy to find seats, and the food was delicious. If you should forget something when you get to Discovery Cove, they do have 2 shops, and they may have exactly what you need. Keep in mind that they provide sunblock. It's an SPF 30, and it goes on very thick, but it does work as long as you reapply multiple times. They do require that you use their sunblock, as it's safe for the animals. Discovery Cove does have Strollers with big tires for the sand, and wheelchairs available. You do need to call ahead of time to make sure one will be available. Check the website for the phone number or my notes below. Discovery Cove has beautiful restrooms with showers, and in the showers they provide shampoo, conditioner, and body wash, and also all the towels you could possibly use, so they're restocked throughout the entire day. So once you're done for the day swimming and the lifeguards have kicked you out because it's closing time, head to the shower room, take a complete shower, change. It's very clean. There was always somebody in the bathroom cleaning, organizing, and making sure that everything was stocked. Overall, Discovery Cove was perfectly clean the entire day. There was a lot of staff and they were very friendly and helpful. I was disappointed in the guest and how they left life vest all over, the goggles and mask, and the workers were forced to clean those up, obviously, but they did an amazing job. They were quick, courteous, and we were so impressed with the staff. We had just the general admission, and I think that's probably how we'll do it again next time we go. Our day was completely full with lots of activities, and we really enjoyed it. The one thing that we'd like to try and were unable to this time because our daughter was only 9 and you have to be 10 was the sea venture. So we're looking forward to trying that on our next trip to Discovery Cove. If you've enjoyed this bit of a venture with Discovery Cove and you'd like to see more, please like and follow below. We'd love to show you another bit of adventure.